When history looks back at King Solomon, it often defaults to the language of fairy tales. We picture a magical ruler sitting on a golden throne, holding casual conversations with flocks of birds and woodland animals. But maintaining a vast Bronze Age empire requires logistics, taxation, secure borders, and the daily administration of thousands of lives. No civilization survives for long on whimsy. A massive state apparatus that relies on supernatural assumptions rather than hard, verified data quickly collapses into chaos, or worse, relies on brute force to maintain order. If we remove the magical lens from the Solomon narrative, a completely different text emerges. The ancient accounts stop reading like a collection of myths and start reading like a highly classified blueprint for military operations and intelligence gathering. To accurately gauge historical power, we have to look past the folklore and examine the rigorous machinery of statecraft operating beneath the surface. Look at this manuscript. The text here belongs to the 27th chapter of the Quran, Surah An-Naml. It opens with exactly two Arabic letters, ta and sin. In the modular architecture of this text, these letters act as specific metadata. They are a systemic alert to the reader, categorizing the data stream that follows. While other chapters deal with cosmology or physical matter, this two-letter code signals that the upcoming module is dedicated entirely to communication protocols, advanced intelligence management, and how governance structures actually operate. Ta-Sin establishes a strict standard operating procedure. It actively rejects magical thinking, replacing it with a rigorous audit of how a leader must manage information to keep a state functional. The first letter, Ta, represents Tahara, systemic equilibrium, pure, uncorrupted data flowing through a channel, free from noise. The second letter, Sin, represents Sultan, regulatory authority, the node receiving verified proof. The math is clear. In a functioning system, exercising power without maintaining absolute data integrity is a structural impossibility. We can map this protocol directly onto Solomon's military. This antique map of Arabia highlights the vast terrain his forces had to secure. Traditional readings claim Solomon controlled a division of literal birds, based on the Arabic term al-Tayr. Linguistically, the root word for al-Tayr simply means to fly or to move swiftly. Solomon was an advanced administrator. He didn't command flocks of animals. He mastered complex, high-speed cavalry and rapid scouting networks. He understood the logistics of moving intelligence divisions swiftly across a theater of war. The ultimate proof of this intelligence network is the character known as Hudhud. Widely mistranslated as a hoopoe bird, Hudhud is actually a human intelligence officer. He returns from a scouting mission in the territory of Sheba to deliver verified news directly to his commander. The text states that Solomon threatens this scout with severe punishment, even execution, for deserting his post. Applying the Articles of War to a literal bird for missing a military roll call breaks every rule of logic and justice. Holding a human military officer accountable for desertion is flawless governance. It is the exact embodiment of the Ta-Sin protocol, pure, uncorrupted data presented directly to the governing authority. When the scout delivers his intelligence about Sheba, Solomon does not react with immediate military action or blind emotion. He triggers an audit. Solomon issues a written diplomatic letter and commands the scout to deliver it, explicitly ordering him to observe the political and psychological reaction of Sheba's leadership. Executing that command requires advanced literacy, sharp situational awareness, and strategic espionage. This establishes a masterclass in information governance. Executive authority cannot act on raw field reports. It must actively stress test its incoming data. These ancient stone ruins belong to the Kingdom of Sheba. At the time of the scout's report, Sheba was operating as an irrational system, bound by entropy, sun worship, and superficial wealth. Solomon's diplomatic correspondence forces the Queen of Sheba into a dialogue. By analyzing the letter and the resulting diplomatic exchange, she is forced to observe the structural perfection of Solomon's statecraft. She realizes his authority is a manifestation of systemic peace. She voluntarily abandons a flawed, decaying system and integrates into one that is empirically sound. Because the initial intelligence was pure and properly audited, Solomon secures a massive geopolitical victory entirely through logic and protocol, neutralizing a rival state without drawing a single sword. What historians and storytellers casually write off as ancient magic is often just a misunderstanding of highly advanced systemic logic. The Tasin protocol leaves us with a precise mathematical law. Exercising power without maintaining strict data integrity will inevitably decay into tyranny. Whether in the Bronze Age or the modern era, true supremacy is mathematically inevitable only when a system grounds itself in verified, heavily audited truth.